Howdy, Heidi ho on this Monday. Hello, everybody. Cheryl Anderson here. And today, my topic is about kindness and patience. How powerful are they? Well, in my experience, as soon as I actually put those two words together and made myself sit and think about them, that's when the whole activities that came from that started to happen. Because I only ever really thought about patience and things to do for other people. You know, I was never very good at doing things for myself. I would put myself last, which it's pretty standard and pretty normal for women to do that. Men do too, but again, my videos are predominantly for women. Now, once I realized that everything wasn't about other people, that I could actually take time and effort for myself, which was nearly unheard of. But then I realized also then the next step from there was that there really was no me and them, you know, like there was no division at all. That kindness and patience was as important to me to give to myself as what it was to give to other people. Now, what I did find, obviously, the more you practice that for yourself or to yourself, quietly, you don't need to tell anybody any of this. Most of the things that I do videos on, you never need to tell anyone. It's none of their business anyway. So a lot of these things come with practice and perseverance. And trust me, you're not great at it straight up. In fact, you can be quite crap at it. Or you do it really great for a week and then you forget and you can be a real sourpuss or be, you know, grumpy at someone who's just doesn't have their gig together and is, you know, holding you up. So patience and kindness is something that this planet at this point in time, that humankind is just lacking. Do you know? Well, in some arenas, no, right? There's a lot of great happening on this world. There's a lot of good things happening on this planet. However, on a grassroots level, when you're sitting in your car in the traffic, what's your behavior when you start to become impatient? When you go to the supermarket and you're in a bit of a hurry, you've got lots to do and you probably haven't planned your time well. So it's irrelevant here or there who's that, you know, who started that, whether you needed to plan better. Here you are at the shops and you're running late and you want to get through quickly, yet there's someone farting about and, you know, they do that at checkouts. Like, I think people wait to have a little sleep. They get to the checkout and have a sleep. Anyway, so how do you act at the supermarket when you're feeling impatient? When you can see someone who's down and they really just need either a smile or to make eye contact or maybe even help them it could be anything. I mean, we've all been met with situations where we have had the opportunity to help somebody or to make somebody's situation better or worse. Now, I hone in on these two things, patience and kindness, simply because, one, they're so easy to do. They don't cost anything. But you will have to put your big girl panties on or big boy panties on, pants, trunks, whatever you want to call them. Because you will have to bite your lip when you start doing this. And there will be times that you want to get angry at someone because they're not keeping time with what you want to do, you know, what you want to get done. But trust me, when you can extend this courtesy to yourself, it will automatically happen to other people, for other people. I remember once doing this at the deli, at a supermarket. And the girl behind the deli counter was maybe, I don't know, 16, 17, and had the grumpiest look on her face. And she was really short with everybody. And so I watched her going about her business and I thought, ooh, grumpy little cow, isn't she? In my head, right? I'm being honest, right? We all say a lot of stuff that it's in our head that we would know we wouldn't say it to people, right? That's why I would hate to read minds. Then when I stood there and thought about it and I decided, hi, Lois, and I decided to look at her in a different way instead of, boy, grumpy cow, here she is at work, how, you know, why is she bringing that bad temper or that attitude to work? I got to thinking, who's to say that that girl's not being bullied at home or sexually abused at home or being come from an extremely poor family, or, I mean, God, any manner of dreadful things that create this sort of behaviour in us. Mind you, she was pretty young. I mean, you know, 16, 17, you don't have much control over what you're doing, really. So instead, when it came my turn, because I'd watched people down the line hiss or carry on or, you know, just having to wait, or she was grumpy or whatever. When she made it to me, all I said to her was, hey, girl, how you doing? And she just sort of looked at me with that. And as she was going, I said, you have the prettiest eyes. And I just smiled, that was it. And I just kept doing what I was doing. Well, bing, the smile from here to here. It was, you know, I mean, obviously you needed to be there. I mean, I can't tell the story as fluently or as quickly as it happened. However, just my action of choosing to not be pissed off because I was in a hurry, because I decided that I might actually just be patient and be kind. And do you know what? To see the look on her face, after I'd already gone through the thing myself of going, okay, well, I could say this, but I'm not going to. I choose this. Because we can all be assholes, let's face it. It's just what we choose to be. We can be anything, but that's what we choose. So in the act of doing for somebody else, it's the same feeling as doing for yourself, okay? It doesn't seem that way. Sometimes you want recognition. There are some people that want recognition for every small little thing they do. Well, you know, that's great if that's what you want, but you're not going to get that recognition all the time because that's not how it works. If you want that kind of recognition, I don't know, there's places and jobs I'm sure you can go and you can get that. However, it's not very day-to-day nor workable, let's say. Oh, bit of a sweat mustache. It's not quite autumn here yet. It's still a little bit warm. Back to what I was saying. So the act of being kind and patient is something that, one, will make you grow as a person, end of story, because you will have to pull your socks up and there'll be times that you just have to go, well, I can't get my own way. So what am I going to do? Pout about it, waste the next 5, 10 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, whatever, being all or surly or annoyed or stressed or angry. Like, really? Really? Where's that going to get you? So this one action of, let's say somebody pushes in the traffic and it holds you up for a whole, like, 1 second, and you spend the next 20 minutes following that person in the traffic until you get beyond the traffic jam or you turn off home or whatever. And you spend the next 20 minutes cussing out that person in front because you're so angry at them. How dare they do that to you? So this nobody that you don't know, who pulled in front of you, who still doesn't know you, who didn't do it to piss you off, is now in front of you unawares of the fact that you're now chewing up the next 20 minutes, angry or vengeful or whatever. So all you're doing is you just lower your vibration, you increase all of the negative chemicals, right? So the brain sends chemicals down into the body, right? Everything starts with the thought. So once you start, whatever thoughts you're putting in, your brain is so clever, it starts dropping chemicals down into your body, into all of your organs. Right? This is how serotonin, oxytocin, all of these things work. The love drug, they call it, you know, oxytocin, is your brain lets these things out and they go down through your body and you get that really great feeling. Okay, so when you're angry and you're being pissed off or you're being lack of patience or lack of kindness to somebody, what happens is you now turn your factory on in your brain, your chemical factory, and you start producing rubbish, stuff that is not going to do anything good for you. Yet here it goes and you're churning. Let's say that example, you're sitting in the car and 20 minutes, your brain is really actively creating these really toxic chemicals. It's just crazy, right? Who would willingly go, yeah, all right, I'm going to fill myself up with toxic chemicals and give myself a real shitty moment because I'm angry at someone that I don't know. They don't know me. They'll never know me, and I'll never get to say anything to them. They're never going to have a chance to say, oh, sorry, I pushed in front of you in the traffic or whatever. So do you understand that what happens when we do not take charge of our thoughts and we let ourselves run willy-nilly, like ego says one thing and off we go, we react to stuff in a really nonsensical manner, the only person that pays for this is you. That's it. In that example, the person in the car in front, they're not pouring toxic chemicals into their body through these negative thoughts. No. So if you want your body, especially women, if you want your body to start to react in a really positive, loving way for you, and you want to start seeing yourself in positive, loving light, these are the two things that I can guarantee you will be at the pathway to exactly that. Because the things that you need for yourself, patience and kindness, are paramount. I can't stress enough how important they are in any spiritual journey or self-learning or self-care, anywhere that you're trying to get beyond or above where you're at right now. These are also what we give to other people as in acts of kindness or acts, service to others. They too, I did a video on this and it was about acts of kindness. Now they did a study at Harvard, I think it was, I can't remember now. Hi Tiff, hi Fire, ah! Now they measured the brain activity of 3 groups of people. One was someone performing an act of kindness, the person receiving the act of kindness, and someone viewing the act of kindness. Now, which one out of all those 3 do you think had the highest positive reading in the brain, like the ooh, ee stuff that we get when we see it? We've all seen acts of kindness. We know how we feel when we see them. We know how we feel when we do them. Now, out of those 3, which one do you think was the highest? It was actually the observer of the act of kindness. Only a little bit, all right? Everyone's levels were up high. But to their astonishment, the person viewing the act of kindness was the one that got the most from it. Go figure. I think because there's no commitment to give or to accept. So I think, you can freely watch something without the feeling of you need to reciprocate or feeling embarrassed because someone's giving you something. Anyway, so imagine, and hi Annie. So imagine just in these 2 things, right? Patience and kindness is constantly, it's like an ongoing act of kindness for yourself, for everybody else that you decide that, okay, I'm going to do this. Like I said, it could be someone in the traffic, someone at the supermarket. It might be a really old lady at the post office. I've had this happen multiple times. They don't want to go to the bank. They don't want to use online, banking. So they go to here in Australia, we can go to the post office and do our banking, withdraw money, put money in. And I've seen them on pension day and they fumble and they bumble and they're getting their phone bill out to pay a bit on it or their electricity bill or whatever. And they're not really geared to move at any great speed. So, I have been in there, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to do the, jump out the car, run in, do what I need to do, and get out. Yet I see someone in front of me going through this. So you know what? Like that, I think, right, you know what? This is my choice. I get to choose. Every single day I get to choose. Well, I choose to stand here behind this other human and I just project love and I just see bursting love, little love hearts, shiny ones, bursting off into them. And I think, well, so how long can she take? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? I'm not going to die if I have to wait. So she might not even know I'm doing it. However, she knows full well I'm not hissing or, those little people make those noises as if somehow nobody's hearing them. Yet they're so bloody rude. I find it's passive aggressive and it's really a terrible thing to do. So if you're going to go or do that in public, don't. At least say something or shut up is my thing. Anyway, So, like I was saying, these are two things that the world needs right now, that humankind needs right now, but most of all, you need it. You really need it. And do you know the best part of all of it? It's your birthright and you deserve it. So once you start doing this, like I said, the female body will start to actually flow better. Because when we don't have the crazy chemical concoctions, the negative ones that the brain drops down when we're, you know, whatever you're thinking is what's the first line of anything is what you're thinking. Then feeling comes next and then actions come. So we already have so many hormones and everything rushing around in our bodies because we're these amazing creatures. Not that men aren't, but women are much more involved and there's a lot more going on in a female. We create life, for heaven's sakes. We can make life. So there's a lot of things going on in here. And when we start dropping the negative stuff in on top of it, it becomes very, very difficult. That's when sometimes you will cry for no reason, or you just get really super shitty for no reason, or pissed off for no reason. Is because it's just this overload. Our body's trying to do what it needs to do, yet we're being so unfair on ourselves and not giving ourselves what we really need. And yet we expect our bodies to act great. We're very impatient with ourselves. Society's been a lot unfair on women. We need to, anyway, that's a whole other story. I'm not going there. That's a whole other rabbit hole. Today's is just about, like I said, patience and kindness. How powerful are they? How important are they? So practice them with yourself. Right when you're getting a naff at something. Me, I had to. It was just a constant. I was constantly, I don't know, like in a race with myself, against myself. How quickly can I get that done? How fast can I do that? How efficient can I do that? I should have that done in 1 minute. I could. I was horrible to myself because I never ever did it fast enough or good enough or whatever enough. But when I started patience and kindness, there was quite a few times I cried when I was stopping and being patient, allowing myself to do something. I realised how horrible and unforgiving I was being to myself otherwise. And I thought, no wonder I didn't function so great. I mean, I was so horrible to myself. I didn't notice, but no one had told me to stop. So anyway, so here we are today, patience and kindness. Let's just do that. Let's just sprinkle that everywhere. Let's do as much of that as we can. Let's teach our friends. Let's make it a mantra. Whenever you feel you're starting to rise, because most times if you're feeling impatient, you can't do anything about it, right? Like being stuck in the traffic or stuck in a line at the supermarket. Well, you can walk out and get in your car and go home. However, that's not always viable. So you have to realise the only way out is to be patient and is to be kind. And it's so very, very simple, yet so very, very powerful. Anyway, that's my message for Monday. Now, like I've said, I send all of these videos over to my YouTube channel, and you can see it in there if you're watching it live, down there if you're watching it afterwards. The channel is there, so you can find all the videos a lot easier. Also, I'm asking if people can share these videos as well, because they're not like regular mainstream stuff. It's not even a real format yet, but all I want to talk about are the things that empower us to make better decisions for ourselves so that we don't need to rely on others, that we don't feel that we're not capable of doing things ourselves. So if you can do that, that would be lovely. And also this week I will be, it's on my business Facebook, but you all know I have 2 Facebook pages where I am going to give away 5. They're like a blockage identifier call. Now what it does, it helps you to locate where you are stuck, where things are not working for you. Anyway, I won't go on. You'll see the post come up. And it's Groovy Girl. It's like a little avatar that I have, that I made, who I need to go and give her a haircut. She still has long hair. But when you see them come up, there'll be 1 each day for the next 5 days. What I'll do is I'll take the first 3 people that instant message me. I will send you a form, a small questionnaire you can fill out, so I can make sure that we're on the right level. Some people are not ready for this yet. Some people are. And they're the ones I'm looking for so that I can try out my new system that I have. And all I want is some feedback at the end of it. So it's a 90-minute call. It will be for free. Normally they're $97. But this week, like I said, one person each day I'm going to choose, and then I'll book in a time and we'll go through and do this in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for that, folks, because that's going to be exciting. Anyway, look, girls, take care. Have a super duper excellent week. Go off and be your badass selves, because I know you're badass. And take care. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, guys.